All right, welcome everybody to our latest Live Motocross podcast. As I'm joined by the great man, former star racer Jackson Richardson, as we chat all things SMX ahead of the finale in Las Vegas this weekend. Obviously, firstly, thank you to everyone for listening and supporting these podcasts. We really appreciate it. We'd also like to thank our sponsors in Fly Racing, Firepower, Dirt Store, and Fuchs Silkaleen for all their incredible support, as without them, none of this would be possible. All right, welcome, Jats. How's life? And thanks again for joining us, mate. How's the week going so far? You're getting pumped up. The SMX Las Vegas is on. The final round of MXGP's in Darwin. It's all happening this weekend.
Oh mate, there's a fair bit going on this weekend, yeah, and probably couldn't have come at a better time. It has been flogging down rain up here at the moment, so my productivity this weekend has taken a bit of a dive, but hey, with all the action on this weekend, like it probably couldn't have come at a better time. So I'm just going to be planting my ass square in the couch and just going to be watching pretty much moto from sun up to sundown, basically.
Oh, mate, no room for golf even this weekend.
Nah, I'm gonna. Well, that's all weather dependent at the moment. Like we always try to get out there, basically rain, hail, or shine. But even the weather, like with how bad it is, that like it's just a day where it's like you're just standing in water all day, and especially if you're having a shit round, like a shit round is like pretty bad even when conditions are good, but when it's miserable conditions, like the weather we've had, it is just no fun at all, and probably end up with a snap club or two by the end of it if things go awry.
Oh, safe to stay inside, mate, and just let the experts do it on the moto and the
Oh
golfing
yeah.
world. But nah, what was your take on SMX at St. Louis, mate? There was a lot of chat about the track there. It's interesting to hear your take, mate. It's a bit of a sketchy place there. We were talking about there was a bit of YouTube commentary there from some people about how it may have improved a bit these days. But yeah, it's always a good bit of banter. But what do you think of the track, mate? It was pretty hard to pass. They had different sections of dirt. I guess it's just trial and error with these a bit, isn't it, mate? Because the track builders do their best and they can't really foresee how it's going to race because there's not really a body of evidence behind it, mate. But it had some cool elements. Talk the crowd was a little low, but given the football season and the summer weather, and usually because they get, if you have a winter supercross in those kind of areas, people want to go to an event, so yeah, that gets a bit more traction. But just your take on it all, how was it from your angle, mate?
Yeah, no, the track was, yeah, it was an interesting one. The track design they did there, it was pretty fast for the floor space that they had. They spread it out a fair bit. I mean, the section where they went into the tunnel was cool. That was a bit different, but yeah, yeah, a few guys were saying it was real hard to pass. It looked like a track that was hard to pass out there, just with the way some of the sections were, like the sand, like the way that formed up. It only had like really the one inside line. So if you guarded the insides a fair bit and blocked them off, then you were at a pretty good advantage. Like being behind someone, like it definitely looked difficult to pass on, but still, like there was some awesome racing on the weekend. And I mean, we go on about how the track was hard to pass on, but then again, we did see Jett Lawrence go from like coming across the line in 17th on lap one in the first 450, mate. He made it all the way back to fourth and was basically one lap away from possibly getting. He could have finished as high as second with one lap to go. I mean, he was right on Roxson and Tomac. So yeah, I mean, yeah, the track layout, yeah, probably wasn't my favorite one, but like it was still good. They're trying to do different stuff. They're trying to do the hybrid stuff for the SMX. So yeah, overall it wasn't too bad. Still made for some good racing. I mean, we saw some really close racing in the 250s. We saw some extremely close racing, especially in that second one. But yeah, overall I thought it was a good one. It was pretty exciting.
Yeah, mate, and we'll touch on that now. The Kitchen-Deegan incident caught the headlines. Obviously, not often someone actually cleans him out. So I guess it was a bit of a statement by Kitchen, that build up tension, not just from him, but a lot of other riders in that class, mate. So how did you see it? A lot of talk, dirty, aggressive. What's your take on that move from a racing perspective? If someone did it to you or you delivered it, mate, what would your sort of consensus on it be, but I guess it's been coming for a while, that kind of a retaliation. He loves to chirp Deegs, the simmering, the beef, it's all been going, and I guess he landed that blow. Kitchen, he saw the opening and he pulled the trigger, didn't he, mate? So he doesn't have too many friends out there, Deegan, so that doesn't help his cause in this particular instance. But yeah, what was your take on it, mate? Definitely made for some exciting and entertaining sort of subplot to the racing.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm not surprised at some point that someone was going to pull the trigger and pull a move like this on him. But I mean, yeah, the move itself. I mean, if you, I mean, guys say it all the time. If you're going for a move like that, the number one rule is you can't take yourself out as well. And I mean, he just bomb dived it in there, and it was like, yeah, it was a really, really aggressive move, and like, I mean, he cleaned them both out, took them both down. Like, he hit him hard enough to snap his front brake lever off. So, I mean, it was a very aggressive move, and yeah, so he ended up with a written warning after that one, which I'm not surprised about. I mean, even just the optics of it looked pretty gnarly. It looked like it was like the pass couldn't have been made like clean whatsoever. So yeah, he bombed them both up, and then I mean, I got to take my hats off to Deegan as well, because not only did he get back up and like do a full race with no front brake, and during the race was turning just as fast to the laps as the guys up front, and he's coming through the pack with no front brake. I thought that was a extreme effort on his part. Like, he just didn't throw in the towel at all and got through it. And I mean, he kept his composure after it. I was on the edge of the couch just waiting to see what was going to unfold after this, because I was thinking, man, Deegan, with the way he's been talking and the way things are, he's been hanging out with Jake Paul a bit this week. He might dog shot Kitchen from behind. I mean, that's the type of shenanigans I was prepared to see. But no, he held it together. Didn't hear any. Haven't heard much more about it. I mean, I haven't really watched any interviews or anything after the fact to see what else transpired. But yeah, he took it in stride. Just moved on to next week, and yeah, try rebound and get the championship.
Yeah, it's going to be good to see. Obviously, he's not in the driving seat anymore, Deegan. So it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, he got a penalty in Supercross, a written warning as well. So he'll have to watch himself too. So it's going to be an interesting dynamic to his Star Racing teammates, make life a bit tough for Joe as well. There's going to be a lot of focus on the antics, but the riding was also epic with Deegan. You know it always is. But yeah, Joe deserves the credit as well, doesn't he, mate? He won despite being under the weather there, and hopefully he's rested and recovered and he's ready to rumble, because he's in a good slot to, he can finish second and get the title wrapped up. So it'd be great for him and his mechanic, Benny Griffith, who's an absolute legend. So I guess there's a lot at play there, mate. Obviously, Deegan's mechanic, Duff, as well. So it's going to be a lot on the line this weekend, isn't there?
Oh yeah, no, there's a ton on the line for this one. Yeah, and Joe put in a monster effort to get through that weekend as good as he did, going 2-2, like feeling under the weather all weekend. And you could tell just after that second motor, when he crossed the finish, the shoulders that went down, the head went down, like he was just absolutely spent, had nothing more in the tank. So massive kudos to him for that. And yeah, like going into this week, yeah, you just at this point, like you just got to rest up. Riding at this point is like, and getting the laps in is not super important. You just got to make sure you're firing on all cylinders this weekend. And yeah, I think the most important thing for him is to just, rest up, get healthy, because, especially after what went down in that second moto at St. Louis, Deegan is just gonna be wanting to grab the bull by the horns at this one, and he is not going to let anything get in his way. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch.
Oh, it's going to be great, mate. And obviously, the only other bloke that's probably got a realistic chance is Seth Hammaker. Probably pretty tough to win the title from where he is, but that points penalty in the first round definitely will come back costly there. But he's still well placed to win a heap of money, which is a good thing about this series for a lot of these guys. He's had a lot of adversity over his career. And this season, even he's been racing hurt a lot of the time, and he just missed out on that Supercross title. So good chance for these guys to get as big a payday as possible and have a pretty good off season, isn't it? And then come out swinging for next season's Supercross. So yeah, your take on Seth? He's had a good season overall, and he's made pretty much all the races. So no complaints there.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a hell of a season for Seth. He's like just come a long way this year from his first couple of years, going through a ton of injuries, like not really racing a whole lot because he's just been on the sidelines with injuries a lot. And yeah, just to have that Supercross championship, like just come up short on that and in that dramatic race at Salt Lake and just battling through injuries and illness throughout that. And then yeah, starting off the playoffs with that points penalty, which, like you said, set him a fair way back. And he's still an outside chance. And I mean, from what we've seen on the weekend, like anything can happen in this 250 class. You just don't know what's going to unfold. Guys are going to be dive bombing each other. Yeah, who knows what's going to unfold at Vegas. So, yeah, he's an outside chance. So, best thing you can do is just put yourself in the best possible position for the best finish. And also, yeah, put himself in a good spot to finish up there in the points, get a good payout. And, yeah, just focus on next year coming back and, yeah, get ready for Supercross.
Yeah, mate, it's going to be good to see how he goes. He'll be one of those right up there for a title with Shimoda and Cole Davies, these kind of blokes. And interesting, the results, you said it last time, mate. The unpredictability in the 250s is all over the shop. And, Nate Thrasher going 6-4 for third there, mate. Masterpool 4-6 for fourth. And then Vial 10-1. Obviously, he wasn't happy with the bike in the first one, but got that sorted and showed what a great rider he is, mate. So he'll be farewelling the US scene now, mate. Looks like obviously all the signs are pointing him going to HRC MXGP, and he's not racing the nation. So good little farewell will be on the cards of him in Vegas, mate. But your talk on any of those, Thrasher, Masterpool, who's another that's futures up in the air. So lot to tuck into there. A lot of exciting times ahead. But Thrasher's one that you feel the more Supercross, the better, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, at this point with the results he's had, yeah, he's been struggling with outdoors a bit, but Supercross, yeah, and it's just, I mean, with Nate Thrasher, it seems like you just don't know which Nate Thrasher you're going to get on any given weekend. Because it was funny, they brought his stats up, and I was like stunned to see that he's got 6 wins. And you would not think that he could. I mean, he's there he's winning races one weekend, and then the next weekend, you don't even know if he's lined up on the gate. Like, he's just nowhere. So it's real crazy. So consistency's seems to be the big thing for him. And he put together 2 solid motos on the weekend, and he's starting to get back up there a bit. But yeah, for him, you just don't know which guy's going to show up because he's obviously shown that he's capable of winning like multiple times. Like, to have 6 wins under the belt, that's no joke. There's some good guys out there that are maybe more consistent, but they don't have like the same amount of wins that he does. Like, I'm pretty sure Tom Vial's got half the amount of wins that Nate Thrasher does, but he's got 2 East Coast Supercross championships. Like, consistency is just the key at the end of the day when you're up against the top guys. So yeah, I'm interested to see how he goes this weekend, see if he can back it up on back-to-back weekends.
Yeah, mate, it'll be good. There'll be plenty of action in that 250 class, mate. And as we move to the 450 class, mate, what do you think of Hunter? Props to him. Great to get that win. It seems whenever he gets a win, it's a bit overshadowed by an incident. Obviously, you had that one in motocross. That was at the start incident with Jett, wasn't it, mate? And then you had this one with the Deegan Kitchen. But, he deserves all the credit, the speed, the racecraft. His decision making is just excellent, and he's just got so much momentum right now. He's consistent. He's always there. He's just really technically precise. Great on all formats and surfaces, isn't he, mate? So the expectations of him for the world now are really just top 2, is top 3 podium. He's every race. He's consistent. He should be there. He knows he should be there. He's got that sort of edge and that confidence in a belief, mate. He's in a good position. He could easily get the job done from Jett this weekend, mate. So he was so close last year. So couldn't begrudge him any of the success, mate, because he's had tough times, but he's certainly come through it, and he's one of the best in the world, isn't he?
Oh, mate, absolutely, 100%. And yeah, it was awesome to see him get the overall win on the weekend. And yeah, just like you said, real methodical ride. And like when you watch Hunter ride, like his style, like it's not a style that just wows you. It's just like it's a bit of like a conservative sort of style, you might say. Like he just gets the job done, and like especially this year, like he's just jumped up to another level. Like he's consistently on the podium, like throughout the year. I know he had the rough Supercross with the injury to his shoulder, but yeah, motocross was just consistently like in the top three pretty much every single weekend. And now, like with the run he's had in the playoffs, has just been awesome. Like that first race was just like perfect from start to finish. Just got out to a lead and just maintained the lead like at a decent distance, and like was just not didn't look out of sorts one bit. Had the one moment there at the end of the race after the Sam section on that little reverse dragon's back, but other than that, it was just methodical. And like he had Ken Roxson and Tomac like right there in second and third the entire moto, and just did not falter once. So yeah, it was awesome to see that, and then a solid third in Moto 2, and ended up with the overall and not out of the championship yet. I mean, we've seen this stuff like happen before with Jett. Like every now and then, I mean, it's very rare, but there is instances where like, you know, the bad start, the getting caught up in a little bit of mayhem on the opening laps that can put him at a disadvantage a little bit, and it makes it tough against all these 450 guys because it's hard to come through the pack. These guys are like the best in the game right now. So yeah, I think what he's got to look for is just, you know, you got to come out with nothing but a whole shot off these starts this weekend, just putting yourself in the absolute best possible position. You got to at minimum just start ahead of Jett each time to give yourself the best shot to get the playoff championship.
Oh, well said, mate. It's great stuff. And obviously, Jett Lawrence, before we touch on him, just Dino, mate. It looks like he tweaked the knee, mate. So that's always not good for the big fella. He's looking, doing the rehab, trying to get right for Vegas. But those knees and Dino, they're just struggling these days, aren't they, mate? So a few words for him.
Oh, man, those knees of Big Bad Dino, they've got some Baja miles on them. Like those things are shot. And you know what? For a guy that was like semi-retired, he might have done the most racing and clocked up the most air miles this year out of anyone in the series. I mean, this guy, I thought he was on the brink of retiring there like a minute ago, and now he's doing all these races, and he's been banged up a bit this year too. I mean, I know he's had the back issues like in between when he was going to Brazil and all those, and then now he's tweaked the knee again. Then after this, he'll be jetting out to Australia not long after to complete an Oz Supercross series. So, man, the boy has just clocked up some Ks on the body this year. So yeah, hopefully he gets it sorted, rehabs it a bit, and hopefully he's just good for like this Oz Supercross Championship because it's always a blast having Dino out here. He's so good for the series. And just an all-around dude. So hopefully he gets that thing healed up. Probably going to be 2 rolls of duct tape on each knee to get him through Vegas, and then just get it souped up and ready for Aussie.
Oh, mate, you got to respect the hustle and the grind. You know, what has he done? WSX, OzX, American Supercross.
He might be the
SMX.
only rider maybe to compete in every single series on the planet.
Yeah, because he's clocked in the arena cross and the Brazilian racing. So he's done it all, mate. So respect there.
Mate, far out.
Hope he's getting some good cash to reflect that.
Yeah, hopefully so. We might see him in Bangladesh next year. Who knows?
Yeah, well, you never know, mate.
Series over there that's kicking off. Dino will be the poster boy for that one too.
Well, the Indian Supercross are keen for you to get over there, mate, and do some content for him. So get on the mic. So
he
you
might
and Dino
get drafted into a team there. I think he might have put his name in the hat. I'm not sure yet.
I was talking to Jeff from Whiskey Throttle, and he said Dino would be great doing the live announcing inside the stadium. There might be a few choice words, but that'd be quite good to get him on the Supercross tour doing that, wouldn't it?
Oh man, that would be a blast if they put him on that one. I mean, as soon as he's done, they almost go because they do it a little bit now with like the football and like that where they got ex players. Like you can sort of pick between commentary. Like you got like the actual announcers, the play by play. Then you got a different like same game, but like ex players and that do it, and it's sort of like a locker room type feel thing, and like Dino would just be perfect for that. I'd love to be watching a stream of Dino just break down the race from end to end.
Oh, mate, you and Dino in the booth, make it happen.
Oh mate, that would be a lethal combination. Like it definitely couldn't be on network television. I'm telling you that right now. I mean, we would have fines coming out the ass.
Oh, mate, well, it's already got that pay-per-view style set up, so it's all you.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, mate, that's gold, mate. Watch this space. Hopefully the series can make something like that happen, mate. It'd be pretty funny. But no, the current guys do a great job for sure as well, mate. But that is a pretty cool format option to have two sets of commentary. So one particularly colourful, no doubt, mate. But yeah, just give us your take on Jett Lawrence, mate. Another really impressive effort again. You touched on it earlier, the amazing comeback ride from right near the back there. I guess hard to argue he's not the best rider in the world, isn't it, mate? Carving through the field on a track that's hard to pass and, doing those cool little lines like doubling out of that particular rut. And he's just creative. He does things that others won't do or aren't willing to do, isn't it, mate? So you've raced these tracks. It's pretty brutal. You see the top guys, they're willing to uncork it and sort of have the creativity to find those lines too. So you got to give him credit, mate. Obviously, some of the American fans get a bit sick of, you know, Aussies, especially like us praising him, but just obviously anyone praising him. But you can't really knock the bloke. He does these things to separate him from the field, and the guys that he's racing are just so elite. So to see what he's doing, you got to give it praise, don't you, mate?
Oh, mate, absolutely. I mean, it was phenomenal, and I mean that first moto coming from I'm pretty sure he went over the whole shot line 21st, so he was almost dead last, and that's been one of the more impressive rides to me this season that he's had, even though he only ended up fourth in that race, because it was on a track where a lot of guys were complaining about how hard it was to pass. But I mean, he made his way through. I was honestly thinking, man, he'll be lucky to get back to the top five if everything goes good. And he damn near could have ended up second by the end of that one because he was right on Tomac and Roxson at the end there. And yeah, it was just awesome to watch. And just the little things he does where he just I mean, it's completely different to stuff like what Stu and those guys would do back in the day. Stu would bust out these these crazy rhythms where it was holy smokes. But then you got guys like Jett Lawrence that just do these just do these little things. Like when you watch him in motocross, he's using the downhill breaker bumps as a rhythm section. He's just jumping through them and hopping them, and just everything is just so precise. And that's skill. First of all, that's just skill and talent, a bit there right off the bat. But then to do it at the end of the race is when you're fatigued and everything, and that just goes to show how good a shape he's in and how well they got that bike dialed in, because he's just able to put it in spots where no one can. I'm sure most of these guys have got that ability, but I mean, to execute it in a race when everything's happening is just unbelievable. So yeah, just massive kudos to him for that. And then rebounding in Moto 2. You would have thought with how he went in Moto 1 where he mowed him down from 20 seconds back, you would have thought he would have dominated, but no, he just gets out in front and just gets it out to maybe 3-4 seconds and then just keeps them there the entire time. The whole time I was thinking, man, Tomac might get him here, but he just stretches it out when he has to. It's just, that'd be the most frustrating thing being one of those guys, because it's he's right there. I'm and I'm riding my balls off, but I just can't get to him. It's yeah. it'd be so frustrating for another guy.
Yeah, he just manages those gaps so well. And obviously, on the topic of what you were saying, mate, from your racing career personally, in America racing Supercross, motocross, and Australia, the same, mate. Is there any guys that you personally remember that doing those particular, little nuanced things to gain time, or who was frustrating to race against, or things that, particularly stood out? A couple of blokes, a couple of names that come to mind from racing against, particularly?
Oh man, I'd have to go back and think. I mean, yeah, I mean there was a few guys. I mean, one guy who in particular who like, and he was winning a little bit at the time, but like he was like the sort of like his style I was drawn to was Justin Hill actually.
Mm.
I mean, just the way he rode and looked on the bike, I was like, damn, God, I wish I could look like that. And like, he was one of the, like, the 250 guys. He would always bust out whatever big rhythm it was first. And like, just the way he rode and the way he looked so fluent on the bike, I was like, oh, damn, I wish I could look like that. And he just rode with so much confidence. Like, it just looked confident, and I was like, man, I look nothing like that. I wish that was me. And I mean, someone who I was probably frustrated with, and I mean, I wouldn't be the only guy, but I got to tangle with Vince Freeze a couple of times. Like back in my early days, Vince obviously got the better of me on basically every single occasion, but it was just like he just wasn't like, and like he's shown that obviously still. He's not afraid to get into guys, and it was like. And like, I never really remember getting smashed too hard by Vince at any given moment, but he'd always like give you a bit of a nudge, obviously. And I was just like, damn. And I was like, just that. And it was like, I could be faster than him at the practice tracks during the week, get to the race, he'd have me 100% every single time. He always just like got it together for the race. Like, and that was what was frustrating because like during the week, like you'd be sussing out the guys at the track, be like, okay, I should have them. And I'd see Vince and I go, well, I should have him. And then get to the race, he's just gone from me. And I was like, fuck, I need to work something out here and try and get him because, man, it was frustrating as.
Oh, he always gets those starts, doesn't he, mate? He's so good at that. He's one of the
Just
best out there.
gun starter too.
Yeah, makes life so hard, mate. But yeah, that's some cool stories, mate. I thought I'd just chime that one in there, mate, just on the topic, because yeah, Hill is a weapon, still going strong, mate, isn't he? So,
Oh yeah, it's still got that same style.
Yeah, mate.
And he, to this day, going, fuck, I wish I looked like that.
And good on him because he picked the bike off Kenny Roxson there when he went down, and Jeff from Whiskey Throttle got that one on film there. So still being a top bloke as well, mate. But it was good to have Roxson out there. Great first moto, holding off those heavy hitters, holding his own, and he's so adaptable. And once he gets those starts, he has that sprint speed as well. So had some good staying power in that one too, mate. So below the Lawrence brothers, you had obviously Tomac as well as a good talking point. He's right up there on another night. He could have won. He loves that scoop on any surface, mate. I guess how would you feel racing that surface with a scoop as well is a good question. But yeah, he was happy with the riding and he's in the fight and he'll be good at Vegas on that sort of a track, mate. So just your take on Tomac and Roxon as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'll start off with Roxon. Like, yeah, it was a good showing for him, especially in that first motor. He got out to a good start and was just ran second the whole race, like good, clean, consistent ride, and just looked like the Kenny of old, just like looked good, looked confident, and was just ripping around there. And then yeah, a little bit of a bad start in Moto 2 set him back, but like still ended up with a solid result. Just missed the podium. And like puts himself in a good spot for the last round, getting some confidence up going into that one. And then yeah, Tomac as well. Tomac's been riding solid. He's like obviously got over what was happening towards the end of outdoors there. We talked about it. He just was having rides that we saw out of him where he was dropping back heaps and you were just like, what the hell is going on here? But no, he had a good ride. And, yeah, there was a lot of talk about the scoop tire. And, I don't find it too crazy that guys are running the scoop tire. I mean, that track was pretty soft. It had a pretty soft base to it, basically around the whole circuit. And, scoop tires have been around for a while now. But I think the more that they've been around now, I think they've started like messing around with, compounds and that. So you still got the scoop, but, the knobbies might be a little softer, or the pattern might just be a little different, where like it can sort of manage, like obviously on a hard packed blue group track that might have a little bit of like soft stuff on it. It's not going to work too much, but on a track like that, it obviously was working good for him, and yeah, it didn't affect him a whole lot. And like, it's got that good bite on that soft dirt out of those corners that gives you some good traction.
Yeah, well said, mate. It's going to be interesting for sure. And bit of a weird one for Sexton as well, mate. Just your take on him. He didn't have the speed, which is not usually something said about Sexton, but it looks like he's kind of ready for the end of the season. Obviously, he's got Motocross the Nations after Vegas and then on to the next chapter, mate, which will be fascinating to see how that plays out as well, especially after Prado's efforts on the Kawasaki, mate. So, yeah, Sexton, a bit of a head scratcher again, mate. But he sort of pulled up in that last lap, not happy with the bike. Him and Vial both had their bike issues this weekend. So just your take on Sexton, mate. And looking at some of the odds, you got Sexton at 10, Hunter's at 7, which is a pretty good bet. Tomac at 13. That's seems like a bit of an oversight. So there could be a bit of value at 13 to 1 there for Tomac, and Jett at $1.26. Sort of put that in your multi bet if you want, but you'd probably stay away from that and go for Tomac at 13, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, definitely. Tomac could be a good shot at that one for this weekend. Definitely. At $13, that is real good value. And yeah, just to touch on Sexton, I mean, yeah, really uncharacteristic second moto, especially. Yeah, and like, I mean, the first moto he didn't really have much in there, and then yeah, the second moto didn't really know what happened at the end there, because he was running like sixth or around there, and then dropped back to 10th on the last lap. Not too sure what happened. So yeah, it's like at this point, I'm pretty sure he's counting down the hours until he, kind of jumps ship, as they say, over to the green machine. But yeah, like yeah, hasn't really the season hasn't unfolded really. I mean, obviously there was massive. It would have been a massive blow during the Supercross season, where he had the points lead and was like in command at one point, and then he let that one slip away, and then the outdoor season turned to shit, and then yeah, it's all really come unglued at the seams, like until this point. And then yeah, at this point, I'm sure he's just counting down the days until he can get off that thing and start fresh.
Yeah, mate, well said. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes for him, and then the off season ahead, how he shapes up towards A1. That's going to be it's going to be a lot of interest around that for sure, as there always is, mate. But give us your picks for this weekend, mate, and how excited are you for Vegas? It's a pretty cool event to finish the season, before the nation. So it's going to be good, mate. But yeah, shout out to you for picking Joe for the win in the 250s last weekend. So what do you got this weekend, mate?
Oh yeah, I mean this could be a dicey one, but I mean for this weekend, I feel like, I mean, I'm hoping Joe's at 100% for this one. Comes out like all guns blazing, but I feel like it's going to be Deegan this weekend for the overall win. I'm hoping Joe can do enough to hang on to the championship, but I feel like Deegan will be pretty unstoppable this weekend, and yeah, so I'll go Deegan for one. I'm gonna go with Seth Hammaker for the 2 spot, and I reckon Joe's gonna be third, but I mean, nah, I can't doubt him that much. Nah, I'll go Joe second, Hammaker third.
Oh,
I
mate,
can't do it.
450s.
Because I was saying it, I had Benny Griffith in the back of my head, just
Oh,
saying some choice words. I can't doubt him. I know Benny's going to have the boy fired up this weekend. He's just going to be, the confidant. He's going to be, yeah, he's going to get him over the line. I think the Joe Show brings home a championship at the end of this.
oh, mate, 450s.
450s. Well, I think it'll be Jett 1 again. I mean, barring a little first lap mishap, anything like that, it'll be Jett 1. Hunter, it'll be Hunter second, and I think it'll be Ken Roxson third. I know that this track, especially if it's the same sort of style as last year, where like, you know, it was pretty hard pack and slick for the most part, Kenny thrives on that stuff. So I think we'll see Kenny back on the box this weekend. So yeah, Jett first, Hunter second, Kenny third.
Oh, nice stuff, mate. Yeah, we look forward to seeing them come to fruition, mate. But obviously, to close out, mate, we've already touched on what you're up for the weekend. So, any final thoughts? And just wouldn't mind getting your take on just SMX as a whole, as a series, mate. What do you think of it? 3 rounds? Is it legit? Has it got some good staying power? Are the tracks up to scratch for you? It's obviously the organisers doing a power of work to make it as good as possible, and the riders are getting paid really well, mate. So, just your take on it all from the racers' perspective.
Yeah, no, I love the playoff format. I wish it would have been around for like a long time because, you know, like every major sport has a playoff series. So yeah, it's good to, you know, adapt that in. And I think for the most part for me is like, and I've talked about it before, like there's just way too much racing. Like, and especially at this point, by the time this part of the season comes around, like, I mean, we've seen more than enough like races through a year, and like that's just me as a fan. I can't imagine how the riders feel. I mean, these guys must just have the dial on empty by this point. They are just ready to put the bike on the stand and pick the feet up after this one. So yeah, I mean, I would like to see. I mean, I'm always loving this playoff format. I mean, I just wish there was a way to, like, you know, sort of reduce the amount of races to you know, one, to prevent guys from getting burnt out, and then yeah, also, you know, I don't know. For the most part, I do like it. The tracks I do like. I like how they adapt these hybrid like tracks in there. I think it's really cool. But yeah, there's too many races. And I mean, I'm pretty sure most guys would agree with that too. So they got to figure that out at some point. But who knows if that'll ever happen.
Oh, it's good to get your thoughts on it, mate. There'll be a lot of conversation. There's a lot of money at play. It's hard to know what happens, mate. But that's been another cracking podcast, that, mate. But yeah, obviously, before we wrap up, we'd obviously like to thank the sponsors in Fly Racing, Firepower, Dirt Store, and Fuchs Silkaline for all their incredible support. As without them, none of this would be possible. And yeah, thanks again, Jett. It's been another ripper podcast, mate. We'll keep them going through the off season with, you know, we've got the Nations and the Aussie Supercross, World Supercross. But nah, thanks again for joining us, mate. And we'll catch up next week, probably.
Yeah, bloody hell.
All good, mate. Have a good one.
Hey, cheers, mate.